Okay, what's up guys? Yeah, I'm back for another tutorial. I've been away for a long time. I wish I could say that I had a reason. I mean I do, but I mean no one's gonna listen. I'm just being lazy, and I should really get back into YouTube, and that's why I'm here today. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a seamless texture that you can use in your games, and you can tile and you won't see the edges and it looks really pretty and you can just repeat it and have, yeah, a lot. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this to this, so you can like repeat it over and over and over and you won't see the edges when you look at it. So it's like, wow, where does the picture end? Nobody knows. I mean, it like ends on the edge here, but not what we're doing. So to start off, what you're going to want to do is open up Photoshop. That's what we're going to be using today, so sorry if you don't have it, but you can probably follow the same steps in another program if it has the features. So you go to File, New, and this is where you define your resolution. I'll have a thing on all the different kinds of resolutions that you can use on the side. The higher the number, the more memory it's going to take up if you use it in a game. But for now, we're just going to use 2048 by 2048. And you're going to want to keep these numbers the same. The rest of these things you don't have to worry about. Resolution is only if you're going to print it out, which I don't think we will be. Color mode we're going to keep to RGB, and we're going to have it at 8-bit. Sometimes with game textures, very occasionally they'll use 16-bit, but 8-bit's fine. Like, you don't really need to worry about that too much. Right, so create the document, and at this point you should probably go outside and get some pictures or find some off the internet to use. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is go outside and take some lovely pictures of whatever you want to do. So I could do these rocks or stones, or you can do grass or whatever you want to do. So just get some click, 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 and then you're good. This one actually seems like it'll be pretty good too. A little bush. Click, click, click. Nice leaves. And a dog. Alright, so these are the pictures that I got. I got this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So, we'll start off with the stones. What you're going to want to do is drag in one of your images. So, bada bing, right there. And we're going to want to scale this first image up to cover the entire area. So just drag it like that, and then find a nice spot that you want to have as like your center. So I think this kind of area will be in our center. We're going to be covering up these areas, so yeah, I don't have to worry about them too much. Okay, once you got that, press enter, and that's our base that we're going to be using. Next, what we want to do is to work on the edges. So we need to make it so that when this edge at the bottom gets repeated, it lines up with the top edge. And the way we can do that is, we can use this picture, but I find you can see less repetitions if you have multiple pictures. So I'm going to drag in the second image that I took now, like that. I'm going to scale it up, drag it down, scale it up again, just so it's like the same kind of size as the other stones that we have, because you want to keep the scale the same, and that's about right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find a kind of area across, so like, let's just say where I'm selecting now, like this kind of area. We're going to use this to be the part of the image that loops across the top and the bottom. So what we do is we right click on the image in our layers, say rasterize layer, so we can edit it now, and then we highlight a section, say like here, this is where we want to maybe have the looping happen, because it's a nice constant section, and we right click, say select inverse, and delete. Now you'll probably see, if I turn off the bottom layer, then we've deleted everything else. So this is all that's left of the image now. So what we're going to do is, we're going to highlight this bit, so like half of what we wanted to choose, and then we're going to drag it up. So you click the move tool, and you hold shift, so it like keeps it in line. So you can't move it horizontally, it's only moving vertically now, and then you move it up. And it should snap to the top, but if it doesn't, then just zoom in really, really, really close and make sure you get it like right on the top pixel, so like right there. And then what we're going to do is select the bottom bit that we've left, and then take that to the bottom. Like so. Bada bing. Oh crap. No. Right. There we go. Alrighty. So now when we repeat the image, if we were to try and do it now with this open, then it would look like this edge would meet up with this edge perfectly. So we could do it all the way there. But now we have these weird edges. So what we can do to fix that is, a method that I like to use is I take the polygon lasso tool. So you can, on the third icon here, you click and hold, and then you can find it here. And then we follow a contour in the image. So we follow a line that goes through the image. With my image, it's the stones. It's really easy because there's cracks between the stones, so I'm just going to start clicking in between here. But what you'll want to do is try to find like a line that naturally occurs in the image and follow it along so that you can, you know, use that as your border. I'm just going to go all along here. All along to the side. And we don't have to worry about these, the left and right matching up yet. We're going to fix that up next. We're going to essentially repeat the steps that we match up those sides. Okay, now that we've got this selected, we're going to go down and then select all across the bottom. So make sure everything below your line that you've drawn out will be selected. Then you click, and then you can say delete. And now it looks a little bit more natural, but you can still see like some edges here and there. If you want, what we can do is you take out your eraser, so this icon here, right click, make it a fairly large brush size and take the hardness down. And then you just brush along the edges and it like blends it in nicely. You can see like on these rocks it blends in perfectly because it's on the same thing, but over here it's not so great. So I mean, just play around with it and see what starts working. So if it still looks a little bit janky, we can come and fix it up later, but for now we want to keep these layers separate, and we can only really fix it up properly once we merge all of them into one layer. So I'm going to do the same step for the bottom here. And I'm just going to select the top here, so we choose all these pixels that we want to delete. And then just like that. So we have the same kind of line going as before. And then we're just going to soften it up with the eraser tool again. So just like that. So you can see now it looks a lot more natural now that we've like added this almost contour line that it almost hides the seam that we've just made so that you can't really see where the two images go together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same step that we've done for the top and the bottom, but for the left and the right. So since I have a third image, I'm going to take that in, but if you want you can use the first image that you have or even the second. Just try to find an area of the image that you haven't used before, so you remove the repetitions. I'm just going to scale this to be like the same size as the other stones. Make it a bit bigger. It seems about right. And now we're going to do the same thing that we did before, but with a vertical piece. So I think just around here, this area is looking nice. So we're going to press enter to get the transform done. By the way, if you don't know how to transform, then just right click and then say free transform, and then you get these handles and then you can move it around and all that. So once we've done that, we're going to right click on the image, say rasterize layer so we can edit it now, and then we're just going to select a band that we want to use as the border. So I think around here would be good. And we're going to right click, select inverse and delete again. So now we just have this band in the middle. If I turn off these layers, then you can see that's what we have selected. So, same step as before, select half of it, or like roughly half of it, and move that to the side. Zoom in real close, because you want to get it right down to the pixel. If you get it 1 pixel off, then it might look a little bit strange. Or you might see like a very thin white line there. We don't want that. So highlight this, move it over, just like that. Zoom in real close, we can see that we've gone over a bit here, so we want to fix that. Just like that, there we go. And that's what we're going for. So, now this step is a little bit different to the one before. Since there's a bit here that's going on the top, it's not going to line up with the bottom. So what we need to do is go right from the corner when we start our contour line. I'll show you what I mean. So we grab our polygon lasso tool and we start right on that corner pixel, and then we can move out. We can move as far this way as we want because we have some of those pixels still there. But I'm going to try to keep it like a fairly gradual, you know, not going like right along the edge because we still want to use some of that, the previous image. So I'm just going to go along here. And now what we need to do is when we finish it, we need to go to the other corner here. So this one's going to be a little tricky because there's a stone going right over it, but I think we'll be able to blend that in nicely. So I'm just going to go right here and straight to the corner. And then we're going to select all these pixels over here, down to the bottom, and then over here. And then just delete them. So now what we have is the same kind of like contour that we had before, but this one starts right at the corner. And we're going to do the same to the other side. So now we have these two bands. So, if we were to tile this now, then it should work, but we still have this weird border, which we'll come and fix up. I just need to say though, that the left and right layers that we've done, where you go from the corners, that needs to be the top layer. Because if this one is the top layer, if the top and bottom bands are the top layer, then we'll see some edges over here that don't look nice. So, just make sure that, you know, the one that we just made for the left and the right, or whichever one you go from the corner from, is the top layer. And then make sure you haven't missed any spaces either, so like make sure the background doesn't show through and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so there we go, and that's pretty much it. If we were to take this image now and tile it repeatedly across the surface, then it should theoretically tile properly. But first, we just want to take all the layers and compress them down into one kind of single layer. So, on the bottom layer that we haven't rasterized yet, I'm just going to go right-click, rasterize layer, and then highlight all of these at the top, well, all of the layers that we have, all the images that we imported, right-click and merge layers. Then we're going to go File, Save As, and we're just going to go to the desktop and save this as Seamless Rocky Hobble Thingy Texture. And then we're going to go to Format and JPEG. Now, you probably want to name it something a little bit more organized, but, you know, I'm not organized. I'm just going to save that. The quality, you're just going to go maximum quality, so yeah, and then it's all good. Just press OK, and then that's good. So now you have your image that you can import into your game. You can tile it as many times as you want, and you won't see any seams. So what we can do to check that it's all working is go to Edit and Define Pattern, and on the side here it'll just pop up. What we're going to name the pattern, so we can just name this Global Testing. We're going to press OK. And now what we do is we zoom out quite far, press C, and then we just enlarge this by a lot. So we have a lot of space to look at. And I'm just going to delete this top image, so it's just the background that we're working with. I'm actually going to double click that layer, press OK, and then make a new layer, and delete the old one, just so we have a clean background to work with. And I'm going to go to my paint bucket. I'm going to go up to the top here for pattern. It should be on foreground for you, or maybe. And then I'm going to go to pattern, and then this drop down, I'm going to find the one that we just made, which is the cobble testing. Click that, and then we just click somewhere. And it may take a while because I've just made this a huge file size, But when it does work, when it does go, we can zoom in real close if my computer doesn't crash, and then we should be able to see the texture we just made. And I can probably see some like, you know, a little bit of seams here and there, but if you're just glancing at it, you won't notice the, you know, the seams. Like I'm just scrolling past it like this or whatever, it'll be fine. It all looks like one seamless surface. There you go. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll check you around.